Hey, hello, beautiful creatures. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing, for taking the time to glance at the Phases Journal, and for watching this video. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to give a short description of how I personally use the Phases Journal. You can change this up as much as you'd like. You can switch it around, you can skip parts, whatever works for you. I hope this video serves you in so many ways and this information is helpful on your journey. The reason why the moon and the phases that she goes through is so important is because we go through phases as well. The moon is a symbol for our unconscious. And my work that I am most excited about is to access that part of us, to access the part of us that we are not aware of so that we can bring it into the light, because we can work on the stuff we're aware of, or we can accept it and merge with the unconscious, understand why our will is so divided, why we keep having these things that we can label as good or bad happen to us. It helps to understand what's going on under the surface. And working with the moon is pure magic. And working with magic helps us to see what's under the surface. If we do magic and it goes kaput, or what we ask for comes through, but in not so great ways or not exactly what we were hoping for, those are clues as to what is going on underneath the surface in our unconscious that are making things manifest in a way that our egocentric mind is not too happy about. Our unconscious might have wanted us to lose our job because of a reason we can't see, where our conscious mind is like, fuck, I lost my job. What do I do now? So we dive underneath. That's just an example of things that happen to us that we hate. So if we want less things to happen to us that our ego mind hates, it starts with understanding our divided will and what's going on underneath the surface. So working with the moon definitely helps with that process. I'm going to go over just the phases. We're not getting into astrology. If you would like to learn a little bit more about your lunar astrology, I do have a remote offering called Feel Your Phases, and I will put the link in this email for you if you're interested in that. But for now, let's just go ahead and talk about the journal. The journal is a way to, and I'm going to share my screen with you now, to track the phases of the moon and how it's affecting us in so many ways, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. So first things first, upon the new moon, right before the new moon, we think of an intention. We think of something that we want to come to pass, something we want to manifest, something we want to happen for us in our lives. It can be something huge, like we want to move to a new home or a new city. It can be something like we want to meet our beloved. We can intend for smaller things to happen, like we want to be able to focus more at work, or we want to be grounded. When I first started doing this years and years ago, I had a hardest time staying grounded, doing all of this healing and energy work. So my phases intention for like the first 4 months until I really got it down was just to stay grounded. So it could be something simple like that. So you can write on here what your intention for the lunar month is, and that is what you will be working on for the entire 28-ish days. When you write down your intention on the new moon. You can light a candle, you can do a full-on ceremony, you can roll your own candles, whatever feels best to you to put out into the universe, not just writing it down on the journal, but put into the universe what it is that you are planning to intend to come to pass. Okay, so let's see. The new moon, it's about renewal and beginnings. This is when the soil is fertile and we are seeding our intention. So you can put the date here, and you can be as elaborate as you want here. If you were to take my phases, Feel Your Phases class, you would be able to more easily access all of this information. So, but you can access this on simple websites like Cafe Astrology, or just there's so many free apps that show the sign that the moon is in. So you put the date, the sign, the element if you so choose. And then at the end of the day, you just journal. You just journal. I look at this in the beginning of the day. I notice where the moon is, what phase it's in, and what sign it's in, and what element is in it. It's in, just so I can get a feel for the energy of the day. It usually matches how I'm feeling anyways, and you'll find that that's true for you, especially the longer you do this and the more connected you become with the natural phases. At the end of the day, I just go through and write down anything spiritual that happened to me that day. Could be something like some sort of magic that happened for you. Anything physical, maybe you're feeling lethargic, maybe you have a lot of energy. Anything emotional, maybe you're extremely emotional. You're just kind of there are lessons or letting go, things you've learned or things you're trying to release based on what happened that day. Any epiphanies or gratitude for lessons learned or realizations that just blew your mind that day. Any of your dreams that you had the night before are big. Also, that goes in line with any signs, synchronicities, or exchanges. These can be good or bad as we label them. But no, as we're unclearing the unconscious, the good and bad, it's not really what they are. They just are. They just exist. So we can talk about things that happen. Maybe we saw a sign that meant something to us, and then we can just come down here and simply write what is going on with our intention. Were we able to stay grounded that day? Were we not? What were the reasons for these things? Anything that we learned that we want to remember for the next day. It's the same for every phase. Waxing crescent moon, that's when the light is beginning to build from the dark moon to the crescent. The brightness is on the right side of the moon and it's starting to grow. This is where we take action. This is where we start to grow. You can, and this is going to be like 3 to 4 days, 5 days. This is a longer phase. So you do the same thing with all of these for those days. And I usually just write the date, like 11/2 and this happened, 11/3 and this happened, 11/4. So it doesn't have to be long. You don't have to fill up each thing every day. The waxing quarter moon is the first quarter moon. It's about outer balance. It's sometimes referred to as a crisis of consciousness. Something happens and we're like, whoa, okay, I need to redirect this somehow because my inner feelings and what's happening in my outer world is not in alignment. So what do I need to do to change, to get back on track, to work towards that intention? So the waxing quarter moon is 1 day. It has all the same categories. The waxing gibbous moon is where you refine and align. So anything you have learned so far, you just adjust your actions, your activities, your goals, what you're doing every day to help steer yourself more towards that intention manifesting in a positive way. The waxing gibbous moon is, again, 4-ish, 5-ish days. You go through, just put the date in each section. Go through all of those. And then, of course, we have the full moon. That's one day. All of these feelings for me personally sometimes are around the day before and the day after the full moon, especially when the moon is in the sign that it becomes full. So the whole time that the moon is in that particular sign that it's going to be full inside of that month, you might be feeling these feelings. So it's okay to address that and write those things down. So you start to understand more of how these phases affect you personally. The biggest thing with the full moon is this is blossom and understand. This is when your intention comes to pass or doesn't. It is when you're like, wow, that didn't take me very long. I have the process down. I am now grounded every single day. When I become ungrounded, I know exactly what to do to get myself back there, to get myself rerouted. Or maybe it doesn't manifest. Maybe you're still like, wow, I'm still frazzled. I'm still very ungrounded. But you have a level of understanding. You have a stronger level of understanding. You know yourself more. You have been able to peek into the unconscious enough to see why you cannot ground, just some of the reasons. And like I said before, I did the grounding intention for 3 months in a row because it took me that long to get it down. I kept having to learn and uncover more and more things in my unconscious that was preventing me from staying grounded. So whether your manifestation comes to pass or not, they're both blessings. And that's why magic is so fun, because if the magic goes kaput, you can figure out why, and then you can do better next time. So that's the full moon. Same things, intention reflections. And this one is going to be a lot more. You're going to probably have a bigger thing to say, more things you want to remember for next time. The waning gibbous moon is when you surrender and you release. You just begin to relax. You release your intention back into the universe. You start to let it go. You start to relax. You still pay attention, but you're not necessarily actively working towards it. It's more of an internal reflection. You start to go more inward. Same categories for each phase. Just go through every night and write down what's going on for you. Then you come to the waning quarter moon, third quarter moon. It's inner balance. Inner balance, which is the opposite of the waxing quarter moon, which was outer balance. What is going on in your world that is repeating, or patterns that can tell you this keeps happening? Not because of them. There's something inside of me that might be making this happen for me. Why does this mistake keep happening? Why does this feeling keep happening? Do these people keep, interacting with me in this way? What is it in me that's making this unbalanced? How do I get back into alignment? How do I do that? And you could do that by looking within and seeing what's up. And when you keep doing this work every day, you just start to know, you intuitively know you have the answers like that, because you're paying attention and you're bringing awareness, you're bringing light to the unconscious, just how the sun brings light to the moon. Then we have the waning crescent moon. This is rest and restore. So this is when we sort of let go of the intention altogether. We still work on it every day, but we don't think about it too much. It's more about self-care, physical, emotional, mental. It's sort of like beginning to try to understand how the month went for you. If you would like to continue to work on this same intention next month because it hasn't quite blossomed yet and you want to get better at it, you want it to fully manifest in the way that you hope it to, you want your desire to be exactly as desirable as you want it to be. So you can start thinking about those things, or maybe everything you wanted to happen happened beautifully and it leads you to your next intention. And this is when you start to really unwind the old intention and bring in the new one You don't necessarily create it or start talking about it yet, but you just use the signs, the feelings, the thoughts to help you get to that point right before the next new moon to where you are able to choose what your next intention will be. So I think I failed to mention on the full moon, I light candles every day. I pray every day. I do ceremony every day. I do movement every day. That's just my practice. Start small. Don't go huge, but on the full moon, if it feels right, light a candle and really just thank the energy for either helping your manifestation come to be or for the lessons that came to you, because those lessons are also gifts. So if you want to just light a candle on the new and full moon, that would be perfect. Or whatever feelings or actions or activities sound good for you is perfect. All right, so I'm going to stop this share screen and hello, here I am. That's it. I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but I really wanted to explain that in a way to where it's beneficial and the journal can help you. Like I said, to learn more about the signs and how they affect you personally with your natal chart, you can contact me about the Feel Your Phases remote offering. That is $100. You get time with me on Zoom. You get a recording of the video. You get a PDF. You get your birth chart. So yeah, that's a gift you can offer yourself if you feel drawn to it. Also, I do offer free circles on the new and full moon through Zoom that you can find either on my events page, or I sometimes send email reminders out about those. So take a look at those and, just follow the energy, find your way. It's a process, it's a path. And I'm hoping you all are well. If you have any questions, reach out anytime. I'm so happy to be here helping, teaching what I've learned and continuing to learn from my teachers, my mentors, and all of you beautiful, beautiful creatures. All right, love all around, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.